Hey everyone, KitaSean here, so welcome back to another Fate Grand Order video. Also a reactive video because we're going to be reacting to a video that Caldea Guru's Musaki released not too long ago alongside with GNA Reviews and Kawaii 5.0. In this video, they have a conversation on the current state of FGO and how it can't keep up with the modern gacha scene. It all started off with a tweet that he posted not too long ago, and that basically just blew up in the whole FGO community. And I wanted to basically talk about it a little bit more because I do find it as an interesting topic, and I just want to talk about it a little bit more because I did respond to that, but I want to again add a little bit more to this. But before we go any further, I do want to state this: I am not starting any drama with the three of them. I respect them as FGO content creators, content creator in general, and we're not fighting. I'm just throwing my own opinion on top of this. We've had conversations before, DMs, video chats. We've been in each other's videos before, so I'm not trying to start a fight with them at all. Again, I respect them, and for those who are taking this the wrong way, that is not the case. We are not fighting at all. So let's go ahead and go where it all started, the tweet. Musaki posts this. FGO cannot keep up with games like Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail. It'll stay relevant based on name alone, and that blows. So I saw this tweet literally like 20-30 minutes after he posted it, and I was like, oh, his own opinion. Let me just look at my R18 plus fan artwork of my favorite characters and just, you know, go my way kind of thing, right? And I go back to Twitter and I look at my Facebook groups and I notice that this tweet is everywhere. It blows up in the whole Fate community and people are just going at it. They're agreeing with him, they're disagreeing with him, and they're just fighting each other, are arguing with each other, just starting a basically mini civil war. And I did see a lot of comments that I completely disagreed with, which kind of triggered me a little bit. So I decided, you know what, let me step in a little bit and just throw my opinion onto this as well, which was this response. FGO was never meant to be like WW or Genshin. It's a game so that any player at whatever skill level can enjoy the story and characters. If TM really wants to make a game focused on gameplay, they can just make a new game titled Fate whatever. That's why Studio BB was created. So what I basically see, what Musaki is trying to say in this tweet is he wants to see FGO become Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves. Like, he wants FGO to become 3D and have an open world aspect where you can just walk around or run around as your favorite Fate character. I mean, Honkai Star Rail is basically FGO with that. So there you go. But at the same time, we want to see the Fate characters, right? I think FGO should stay how it is, the visual novel main, because I mean that's what the idea was, to make it a visual novel gacha game and put in a simple gameplay where anyone can enjoy and play to, you know, just enjoy the story and characters. Type Moon, I mean, they originated from visual novel. That's their bread and butter. Like, that's what they wanted. So that's how FGO became a visual novel gacha game. I mean, no other mobile game has been at the level of FGO, in my opinion, when it comes to that genre. But yeah, that's basically how it is. So to make FGO become like Genshin Impact, is they have to basically make a completely brand new game. But at the same time, again, I don't think FGO should change how it is. I think it's great how it is. It works, and it's gonna be like this for a very long time. I mean, it's been like this for 9 years, and it's going to continue like this for another 9 years. I mean, we have mobile games like Puzzles and Dragons, Monster Strike. They have never changed their way. They just added in a bunch of collaboration characters to break the game, but people still enjoy that. Same thing with Grand Blue Fantasy. I mean, it's same gameplay style. They just keep adding in all these different characters and stats and stuff like that, but it's basically the same game. So to ask FGO to become something different is, I think is a little bit unfair. But again, that's his opinion. That's my opinion. That's where we're at when it comes to that. But again, a lot of people that responded to this, again, they agree with him. They disagree with him. They agree with me. They disagree with me. So yeah, I mean, everyone has their own opinions, but FGO I think is great how it is, and I think it should just stay how it is. I really do. Again, if Type Moon really wants to make a game like Genshin Impact, I think they can. I feel like that gameplay style wouldn't work for a Fate game. Again, this is just my opinion. I feel like a lot of stories don't really fit specific gameplay styles. So to me, I just can't see FGO become like Genshin Impact or Honkai Star. I mean, I can see a Honkai Star Rail type game, but I just can't see it become like open world based. I mean, that's why you have games like Fate Samurai Remnant and Fate Extella, which is coming out, the remake that's coming out. I'm sure we'll see some other gameplay genre for Fate in the future, because again, that's what Studio BB is about. They're there to make Type Moon games. But yeah, that's basically my 2 cents on that whole thing. But again, we have the video to watch. I have not watched it yet, so I'm actually kind of excited to see what they say in this video. Of course, I'll be pausing here and there to put my opinion on it, to say, hey, I agree with this, I disagree with this. So yeah, let's go ahead and watch the vid. All right, here we are with the FGO Cannot Keep Up video. Again, this is by Chaldea Gurus. I'll leave a link down below for you guys to check out on your own time if you guys don't want to watch the whole video here. I will also leave a link down below for all 3 of their channels, GNA Reviews, Kawaii 5.0, Chaldea Gurus. They make amazing content for FGO as well as other videos such as their hobbies, anime. So yeah, definitely give them a subscribe. Links are down in the description box. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and watch this video. I'll be pausing here and there, throwing in my opinion or responding to what they say, and yeah, we'll just go from there. It is a 22-minute video, so yeah, this is going to be a pretty long reaction video. So let's go.
What's going on, fellow masters? Musaki from the KitaSean here, sitting here with the wonderful, fantastic content creators above me. So Brony from GNA Reviews.
Hey yo.
And Justin from Kawaii 5.0.
It's me. Hello.
Yeah, so not sure if you've seen the storm on Twitter, but apparently my thoughts on FGO is quite controversial a little bit, but
a little bit,
basically,
yeah.
That's what we're
controversial
talking about
a little bit.
About the fact of FGO,
I don't really think it's that controversial, but yeah.
In this modern gacha world, it is a 9-year-old gacha game. It is archaic. The Summoner's War of the new age. But
Summoner's War is still a thing. Wow.
I really felt like
I just
when
realized
my comment me saying that, it can't compete with Honkai Star Rail, can't compete with Withering Waves. People will know it. It will be relevant based off the name of Fate. But that's it, and that sucks.
I agree and disagree with this, and I'll tell you guys why I disagree here. FGO, yeah, a lot of people know FGO because of the name Fate. They're basing it off of that. They know Saber's face and everything like that. That's how, I mean, of course, as an OG Fate fan, I knew about it. But FGO actually got a lot of players who has never touched a single Fate franchise title. Like, they've never watched the anime, they never read the novel or manga, they've never read the visual novel, they've never touched Fate Extella, etc. Like, they haven't touched a single Fate franchise until FGO. And because of FGO, they actually branched out to all the other Type Moon works, whether it's Fate Stay Night visual novel, anime, Tsukihime Mahou Tsukai no Yoru. And not only that, what's really cool about Fate Grand Order is that all these new players that never touched a single Type Moon franchise got interested in Tsukihime and Mahou Tsukai no Yoru, and they just started to dig in more information when it comes to Type Moon story, Type Moon lore, and yeah, they just became huge Type Moon fans. So that's why I disagree with that. FGO does have the power to bring in new players and have them branch out into the whole Type Moon universe. So yeah, I think FGO is basically doing fine when it comes to a standalone game. So that's why I agree and disagree with this.
I feel like Fate has such great characters, has phenomenal stories, and so much potential. And it sucks to see that people don't want to play the game, and they only know about it through dojins or hentais. And I'm like, man,
Again, I agree and disagree with that one as well. But yeah, there are unfortunately fans that know it by the dojin. I mean, um, but I mean, those are just dojin fans, basically.
No,
oh,
it's the new Toho project syndrome.
it is. Like, oh my god, no. So that's kind of what I meant by it. But people seem to think that I was just out and out saying that, FGO sucks. FGO is horrible.
No, he wasn't
It's
saying
never
that at
gonna
all.
make anywhere. It's not gonna make any money or anything. And I'm like, I didn't say that.
He did not say
I
that.
didn't
No,
say that at
he
all.
didn't say that at all.
People were like, I can't believe Moo's starting a Weathering Waves channel.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, oh man, he jumped ship.
He jumped ship.
Oh,
Just
no.
like when I started doing Honkai stuff, I can't believe he's riding the
I can't
wave.
believe it. God. Jeez, I stream Resident Evil once. Is this a Resident Evil channel now?
Oh no.
Are you riding that Capcom wave?
It's like, I mean, Capcom has some good games come out in the past few years. Dude, they make billions of dollars in this past few years, but
Yeah, they've
No,
been
no,
putting out bangers.
Capcom's dying because they removed Ashley's panty shots. Didn't you? Didn't
Oh
you get
yeah, I
that memo?
forgot.
Damn
I
it.
forgot about that. It's dead.
Resident
Of
Evil 4
course.
is nothing.
Dead on Arrival, DOA, rest in peace, Capcom. But yeah, no, I wanted your guys' thoughts because, well, so Brony, we've been friends for ages since the beginning, and Justin, we talk on occasion. I'm pretty sure if we talked more, we'd be awesome friends. As I like talking with you. But
Probably,
yeah. Honestly, share a beer, drinky. I might not drink. But yeah, let's start with Oni. What are you thinking with FGO? Do you think it's fine just the way it is, or do you think like it could do something to try and compete with the mod?
I'm just gonna go ahead and speculate. I think what he's gonna say is, he wants to see FGO too. I think all of them are gonna say that, but we'll see.
So I've actually been vocal about this on streams. I really want a new FGO,
There-
like an FGO.
Yeah.
Pretty much for the same reasons you both voiced in your controversial post.
So yeah, they basically want to see FGO become Genshin. They want to see an open world version of FGO. I mean, that's why Fate Samurai Remnant is a thing, right? I mean, it's technically open world, in a way, and it's like a hack and slash basically. Like, it's not, I don't want to say Souls or Muso type game, but it's basically in between there, you know. But yeah, that's basically what they're asking. They want FGO to become a Genshin like, or I guess Breath of the Wild type game.
I don't think that it's pretty much living on legacy
Yes.
because it's done. Its system is kind of simplistic, like the gameplay system, and there's only so much you can do and innovate with it. So at this point, it's mostly just people who play FGO play it for the story and the events and all of that stuff. And I wonder how long that can continue to attract new players. You know, like it's fine for us now because it's like the collab that we just had in JP was awesome.
Right.
Like 3 collab. But at a certain point, you can only collab with yourself so many times. Mouse is gonna run out of work. He can't be out here.
I don't. Yeah, sure. Type Moon doesn't have that many titles, and I can see why he's saying that. But there are so many characters from the collabs that we've had already, with the Type Moon titles that we had already that aren't in FGO, so they can technically do, Prisma Ilia 2 or Fate 02, and when I mean by Fate 02, I mean like throw in the Masters of Servants kind of thing. But there are actually a lot of Type Moon projects that exist that not a lot of people know, and I don't know if they know. There are just so many Type Moon projects, like smaller Type Moon projects that exist, and you never know, they can actually be implemented into FGO, so as collabs. So So just want to throw that out there, by the way. So I do believe Type Moon can still live on collabing with its own works for several years from now.
Pushing out 1,000,000 collabs.
Right.
So when that well dries up and we have to come back to, well, how do we attract new players? I don't think it's going to live up to that hype of Wuwa or Honkai.
I mean, Honkai and Genshin have never collabed, if I'm not mistaken. They've only collabed with like actual like restaurants like Kentucky Fried Chicken and such, right? To get like codes and stuff like that, right? So hype wise, I disagree. FGO is always hype within the community because hey, we see characters that we know from Type Moon franchises. Hey, this character actually looks really, really cool. And it's a brand new character kind of thing. So, and then not only that, it actually hypes up a lot of non-FGO fans. They're like, oh shoot, what's this character from? And that kind of attracts them. Oh man, I kind of want to get an FGO. That's how I am with Azure Lane. Like, oh my god, this character is so sexy. I want to play Azure Lane, but I don't play Azure Lane kind of thing. So yeah, it's kind of like that. They get hyped up from the characters, and Genshin same thing, or Honkai same thing. A new character comes out. Oh, this character looks really cool. It hypes up that community. So I do think FGA can still hype up the community by bringing in these new characters and new events and such.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. That's a point. The whole thing of being able to. The fact that they only collab with themselves, which I mean, they're big enough to where they don't need to collab with anyone, really.
Which, if you think about it, is very impressive, right? Like, they're actually hyping up the whole community with just collabing by themselves. That's unheard of. Other mobile games have to collab with other franchises. Think about that. Just think about that. Type Moon is just making Type Moon money by their own franchises. Other mobile games have to collab with other franchises in order to make money. Just think about that.
But it's just the sheer fact of that you're gonna run out of stuff eventually, even if
it's a very insulated community.
And I just
run out of stuff when it comes to collabs, sure, but that's why you keep making other Fate games. Fate Samurai Remnant had a collab. Hey, they still have characters from that game that aren't in FGO. So they can just keep making Fate games and just collabing with them. That's all they have to do.
it saddens me because I feel like we can be further than that. Justin, what about you? What do you think?
So I did notice that some people brought up, like, it's kind of unfair to compare like a 9-year-old game to like a brand new game, which, like, I get that to a degree. That there were certain engines, certain systems, concepts, and gameplay that didn't exist like back when FGO came out. However, at the same time, you've also got to consider that FGO is a game occupying the same landscape, I guess you would say, as games like Honkai Impact, Genshin, Nikkei, all of those. So since FGO is occupying that space, despite its age, I mean, comparisons are just going to happen. Comparisons are going to be completely unavoidable. And I mean, you still get that with older games today. Like, how long has Grand Blue been out? How long has Puzzles and Dragons been out? Like, those games are still making money. You're still making those comparisons. And I mean, comparatively, back from the heyday when like JP was just like consistently topping, I seem to remember seeing people being like when Salem came out, there was just like an Abby standee next to the Google Play gift cards I saw as an image on the Reddit. And that stuff was gone. That stuff was completely and utterly gone. But I mean, now we're hitting this. I'm just looking at I don't know if you guys ever check out Gacha Revenue, but Gacha Revenue is an amazing website that shows like price by region and stuff like that. And if we're looking at like FGO JP for this month, it made like 14 mil, which is pretty like
it's a lot of money for us.
I'll take that.
But Honkai CN made 66, Honkai Global made 43, and that's Star Rail, by the way. And then Genshin made 82 in China and 37 globally. So like even then, it's like The signs are there. I mean, we've got all these other.
Sure, yeah, money does talk. I get that, but I mean, compared to like there are again the whole fan base for Genshin and or for Hoyoverse and stuff like that. They're yeah, they have a bigger scale. The budget's bigger when it comes to making these games, and yeah, they do hit a bigger audience because of their graphics, the gameplay style, and again, the FGO specializes in FGO and the visual novel aspect, and again, like it's. Again, I do find it kind of a little bit unfair to compare those two games. Again, you're basically comparing, hey, FPS to a JRPG, so you know, that's basically how I see it.
All these other games coming out like over here that are also going to start taking up that space. And I know Oni was saying you're playing like a ton of games right now, a ton of games, and everyone's only got so much time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everyone's only got
And
so
so
much
much
time.
money.
When I've got stuff like
Yes.
that, new SD Gundam game that's coming out, the Super Robot Wars game. I have a fever dream that I hope is going to come to the West.
One
Maybe
day.
Persona 5, the Phantom X will come out here.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's,
that's
the comparisons are going to be
the Persona
unavoidable.
game, right?
People are
Yeah.
going to be looking at what these new games have to offer and what FGO is offering, and they're going to have to weigh that.
Right. No, exactly. And that's pretty much all I was saying. Like, FGO, I'm not saying that FGO is going to die. I'm not
It's
saying
not.
that FGO isn't making money. It's still making enough money to compete
It
and be
is.
in the conversation. And it's Fate. It's going to last because you really can't run out of content with Fate.
Yeah.
It's not really possible.
I don't know why he said that now. He says that oh, they're gonna run out of content, but now they're saying they're never gonna run out of content, which whatever. I won't bear on
But-
too much on that one.
It is just something about playing these other gacha games. Like, for a while, FGO was the only really gacha game I played. I dabbled in Azure Lane, I dabbled in Arknights and everything else, but FGO was like the mainstay. But then the pandemic happened, and then Genshin came out, and then it changed the conversation of what a gacha game is. Now it's no longer.
I don't. I mean, sure. It's just a different genre of gacha game. That's how I see it. Like FGO again is a visual novel gacha game. Azure Lane is a simulator gacha game in a way. Genshin Impact is just basically Breath of the Wild gacha. That's basically what it is. So, yeah, sure, it did change the landscape, but I don't think I want to see a Genshin clone. I mean, that's what Wuthering Waves is. It's basically a Genshin clone. I wouldn't want to touch that if that's the case. You know, I want to see something different when it comes to gacha games, and that's what basically what Genshin did. It just basically became something different compared to other gacha games. That's what that Monster Strike, Puzzles and Dragons, completely different gameplay. So, I mean, again, I don't want to keep seeing copy paste mobile games, and that yeah, a lot of other mobile games copied the whole FGO mechanics, which is again crazy. I mean, that tells you, hey, FGO actually did something. It changed it. It changed the whole landscape when it comes to gacha, and again, that's what Genshin is doing. It created games like you know Honkai. It created games like Wuthering Waves, etc. So yeah, it changed the landscape like FGO. FGO was copied by multiple other mobile games, but unfortunately those other mobile games died because they just couldn't keep up with FGO.
It could be an RPG, card based. It could be like mahjong or whatever. Now it could be a legitimate game with gacha elements in it. And I was like, FGO, what could you do to that? We have FGO Arcade.
I don't know if they played FGO Arcade, but FGO Arcade is actually fun from what I've seen. Yeah, I mean, it's simple. It's just boom, 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 boom. But like, it's fun. And then I don't know if they understand how big the not FGO, sorry. I don't know if they know how big the arcade card game scene is in Japan. Like, arcade card games are huge in Japan. It's not just FGO where you can just play the game and collect cards. There are sports games like soccer. You can play a soccer game and collect player cards. There are idol games that have idols where you can actually dress up your favorite idols by collecting cards. There's also like the Three Kingdoms Dynasty Warriors card game where you can collect a bunch of these legendary warriors from the Three Kingdoms and go to war with other players. There's also Gundam where you can just fight play Gundam, tower defense Gundam, PvP Gundam and stuff like that. Card game arcades are super popular in Japan, and FGO is still one of those popular arcade games in Japan.
Yes, we all love FGO Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know if they've ever played FGO Arcade like I have, but FGO Arcade is, I think is fun. I mean, is it a money grab? Sure, but any TCG is a money grab. So,
You mean had?
They had. Yeah, that's now the pandemic killed that too. And I'm just like, if you would have put those same resources into like a 3D game,
yeah, see, there it is. They want FGO to become a 3D game. That's basically what they want. And a gacha style. I mean, Fate has made multiple 3D games, just not gacha. That's basically what they're asking.
PC maybe be fine. And I just
Multi-platform release.
Right.
Multi-platform
Yeah,
release.
let's do that.
would have been great because
They have enough startup money. They got it.
they honestly do.
Yeah, they do.
It's not
I was gonna
like
say
I'm telling
no,
a-
they don't.
a
But
small indie company.
the only reason why I pause there is because like again I don't know if they understand how creating games is like. A lot of moving parts exist in creating a game and to put it on different platforms. I don't think they're putting in that factor into this conversation.
Who made Lethal Company or Content Warner? Hey, you better make a
They hired Yoshinori Ono. Like, they have the money.
right.
Just because Ono Yoshinori moved to Losango doesn't mean he has ultimate power to do something. Like they obviously, if they want to do something with Fate, they have to get the approval from Type Moon, and obviously Nasu and Takeuchi are the head guys. They have to get their approval. So and again, I personally think Nasu and Takeuchi have a vision, and their vision is to not go into specific routes. So they want to do something what they believe is right for their franchise, and I completely respect that.
They got bang. I think what Genshin did was kind of create a new type, like you said, a new type of gacha game. So I think there's two genres of gacha games. There's the sit down, actual, like, I'm playing a console game like Genshin, Wula, Honkai, and then there's like the I just need to play log in 5 minutes while I'm in the bathroom or something.
Right.
And I feel like FGO.
And FGO is basically a gacha game where you can do 5 minutes, just spend all your stamina in an event or a quest, a daily quest, or you could actually enjoy and read a story.
Kind of just trying to straddle both, because if you really want to, you can grind in FGO. It's kind of like Grand Blue where you can stay there all day and kind of just play.
Yep.
But I would like to see it pick a side, be that 5 minute gacha game, and then maybe release like an expanded. A 3D Fate would be so fucking awesome.
Again, they want FGO to become Genshin Impact.
Man.
That would literally be my dream come true. If we could just get Fate, but like with Genshin style.
There it is!
That'd be amazing. Listen, just hire Platinum Games. You got the money.
For real.
I'm all
Design
for
the
that,
combat
man.
system, man. Go balls to the wall with it.
Dude, imagine playing a Saber doing a Stinger combo.
See?
Swapping between servants. And
Yeah,
shit. Oh,
I mean-
Oh my god.
Again, like they're not putting in the fact that they just want FGO, not Fate something. They want FGO. They want Fate Grand Order to become a 3D game of some kind. They don't want Fate something 3D. They want FGO specifically.
That'd
We
be so.
kind of got that a little bit with Samurai Remnant, but I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
still,
Mhm.
There, right
still
there.
straddled the like Dynasty Warriors line. And listen, nobody watching this, don't you dare think I'm hating on Dynasty Warriors. The
Damn
only
right.
Dynasty Warriors I hate on is 9. I love Dynasty
Yep.
Warriors,
Yep.
but it just it it still is like straddling that line. And I think they could even do a like bigger, better turn-based Fate. I mean, it's not like turn-based RPGs are dead in any capacity.
Right.
Dragon Quest 12 is gonna blow the lid off of everything.
Again, this goes back to what I said. I think certain franchises, certain stories can't work with every single type of genre of gameplay style. I do think there is a specific gameplay style that works perfectly for that story. And again, I think Nasu and Takeuchi understand that, and they believe, okay, we don't think this story, these characters work well in a Souls-like game, or they don't think these characters work well in a Muso game. They don't think these characters work well in this style. But that's what, again, how I see these creators when making a game.
People are still waiting for a Persona 6.
Mhm.
Baldur's Gate 3 was Game of the Year last year. Everywhere.
Turn-based.
There you go.
Turn-based game.
Yeah, like turn-based has its place, and FGO can definitely be a turn-based game if they wanted to go that
It is a turn-based game.
route. Just like the new player experience for FGO is abysmal. Like I tried, I got some new members of the team.
I don't know about abysmal, but I mean, it is a lot to take in. That's for sure. I mean, if I want to get into Genshin Impact, I feel like it's a lot to take in. Azure Lane, it's a lot to take in. Puzzles and Dragons, it's a lot to take in. So yeah.
And I was trying to like, all right, cool. So let's start up FGO. Let me get you going because they like Fate. They like Fate in general. I was like, oh well, I haven't tried FGO in a while. Let's get them back into it. And for the life of me, the onboard experience is so bad. It's just like, man, it's like, and then they go play Honkai Star Rail for the first time, and that's all they play now.
It's really hard to convince people off of like Honkai or Genshin. I anecdotal, but I remember years ago when like Epic Remnant was coming out, or even like the very first Lost Bout, I would always get messages like DMs on Discord or just on comments on YouTube where it was like, hey, I decided to pick this game up for the first time. What servant do I level? How do I do this? And I feel like if I get one of those comments, it's one to the blue moon now, where somebody just started FGO and doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, he's a new player to FGO.
Right. Yeah, no, it's
I mean, yeah, I get it. You want to start off a new game, and you want to make it easy for yourself. I get that. You want to get advice from veteran players, but FGO is a game where it's very simple. As long as you know the counter against all these enemies, you should be fine. Like again, it's a very, very easy gameplay style where any skill level can play. So I keep telling players all the time, it's simple. Just level up all your servants that you have, and just play the game. Like, you don't have to level up your skills to 10. Like, you can actually beat these quests without your skills at level 10 and stuff like that. So FGO is a very simple game. We all know that. It's very easy to get the hang of. So yeah, just level up any servant and then you should be able to go through it easily. I mean, we've seen so many examples that lower rarity servants can go through the story. So throwing that out there.
rare. What about you, Justin? Have you seen a lot of new
I
players?
mean, I get those comments now and again, but I really feel like, I think that's kind of the crux, if anything. It's not necessarily the graphics, because I legitimately don't believe graphics sell games anymore.
There you go.
I really don't.
I
You
agree.
could've convinced me that between like the PS1 through PS3 era, but nowadays, I mean, we've got like stuff like Stardew and all that,
Right.
like that are doing gangbusters and look
So
like
many
they could've
indie
come out on
games.
Super Nintendo. Vampire Survivor is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a graphical thing, and a lot of people like to say, you're just saying that because it looks older comparatively to Honkai and Genshin and Nikkei and all that. I really don't think that's it. All of those games, when I was sort of onboarding through them, they had a very good new player experience. Not only did they have a good experience in, oh no, it's my bedtime is 10 p.m. alarm. Hang on one sec.
No worries, no worries.
Not only did they have a really good experience in that players, are able to, slowly work their way into the mechanics, learn how this works, learn how that works, get everything presented to them, and then have that actually culminate in a challenge where it's like, okay, use everything we taught you to try to supplant this. But they end up having those just like those moments, like, those like catch-all moments that you get in a game where like this crazy thing happens, and the second you hit that, it's like, I get it, I understand it. Easy one for our reference. I mean, how many reactions are there on YouTube to the Coca-Cola?
Oh, okay, that's what he's talking
Yeah,
about. I was like, what is he talking about? But okay, now I
Mm.
understand what he's talking about.
Just that combination of gameplay.
So basically, he's talking about like epic moments, like an epic fight scene, an epic like cutscene, right? FGO has that. Again, as a visual novel aspect. Again, I don't know if they are into visual novels. I don't know if they played many visual novels, but in the words of another fellow content creator, MP, which we actually did a episode of Kitaku Bubako, and we talked about a bunch of visual novels. In the words of MP, there is a lot of amazing artwork in visual novels that cannot be recreated in any other way. Like if you try to recreate something from a visual novel to make it into an anime form, it's just not the same. Same thing with manga panels to anime, it's just not the same. So there is a special thing about visual novel artwork, and FGO does that very well. There are amazing artwork in FGO that can just spark 1,000 words. Like just looking at one visual from FGO, you can tell, okay, that's pretty intense. That's scary. This is pretty. I'm getting goosebumps kind of thing. Like that's what a lot of visual novel can do. And again, if you're a visual novel fan, I think you understand what I mean by that, and you understand what MP means by that. So yeah, again, if you're a visual novel fan, that's basically what we feel. So I think as a visual novel fan, as an FGO fan, FGO does it that way.
And visuals and the music hitting just right works.
Same thing.
I
Yeah,
could go on and on about
FGO does that. FGO gets the music and the visuals just right. That's what I think. Again, the boss fights too. I think the boss fights in FGO, the intensity of like a boss fight and the background music, and just how like Kirunos was in LB6, it was intense, and everyone agreed with me. I think everyone could agree with me on that. That boss fight was crazy. It was intense.
like all the games that end up hitting that point. Like, easy one. The first time you fight Rathalos in Monster Hunter, like the first time you're able to destroy Rathalos, you see him flying around, you see him everywhere. You're afraid of him, and then you're finally not. I don't really think FGO has a moment like that.
It does. Again, I'm just gonna use LB6 as a example. Kirunos, everyone was like, "Oh crap, it's cute, but like that thing is scary as hell." When Castoria did her Noble Phantasm, that was an amazing moment in my opinion. I had goosebumps. I was like, "Dude, this is pretty crazy." I was personally at the edge of my seat when I was reading that. So yeah, FGO does have that moment. They do have those moments. They do. And that's if you read the story, of course. So yeah, I disagree what Kawaii is saying here. I think FGO does have those moments.
I mean, they try to present it when you fight Salter in Fuyuki, but it's just really not there. Most of that moment is conveyed through, the dialogue of the moment.
Right.
And
yeah, sure. But again, I think still the music and the visuals are those moments as well.
And you don't really actually get that feeling through the emergent gameplay like you would if, say, you watched the FGO anime they did of Fuyuki, where you actually, see Ritsuka come into his own and like, you know, force back Salter and all that. That
Right.
moment, while it exists in the writing, it doesn't feel like it exists in the game.
Correct.
Mhm.
And it's on the onus of the
Again, I'm sorry I had to stop this, but again, I said this before. FGO is a visual novel first, then gameplay. Just throwing that out there again.
game to show that. But honestly, I didn't feel that in the game until Solomon, where it's like it
Yeah.
clearly shows Ritsuka picking up the shield and going at the big bad. I'm just like, that felt like a moment, but you had to go through 7 other chapters to get to that point.
That's called story building.
That's
Yes.
the other thing. The very intro of FGO is really rough to get through. Like, especially the first 3 or so chapters up until.
I mean, I feel like it's really rough to go through a bunch of mobile games in the beginning. Like it was rough. Like I remember Genshin, that was rough. Like I did not want to go through the beginning phase of Genshin. Same thing with Honkai. Same thing with Azura Lane. Same thing with Nikkei. But for FGO, I personally actually enjoyed FGO's beginning chapters. I thought because I mean I enjoy the story for FGO anything Type Moon, so that's probably why. But I mean, it's not just FGO. There are other mobile games where it's pretty rough to get into, or
at
gacha
least
games to get
Okeanos is
into.
a little bit fun.
Yeah,
I
okay.
knew someone was going to mention Septum.
Yeah, like
Accept them. Just
the
just
story.
click that skip button.
It's just the story is just so early on. Like Camelot to me is when it really starts taking off. That's why they make movies on them and everything else. But it's hard to sell one. Hey man, the story gets good 6 chapters in.
I mean, that's like again that's like any other franchise. It's like saying, yo, Naruto, it gets better when the time skip happens, or One Piece, it gets better when they start going onto the Grand Line, you know, or Bleach, it gets better when they go to Soul Society. That's basically what they're trying to say here. And again, yeah, sure, like not every single chapter of FGO was amazing, but the build up to Solomon was all worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean the payoff crushes if you stick with it. The
Yeah,
payoff
it's
is
it's
just
it's a
immense.
worthwhile investment.
Yeah, there you go.
But
But it's getting people to buy into your investment. It's like I have honestly had more difficulty, at least lately, trying to get people to buy into FGO in those early chapters than I have in trying to get people to buy into a Souls game.
that's wow.
Yeah, it's
wow.
wild.
That's
But
rough.
Souls, I mean,
Elden
the only I have to, yeah, sure. Again, I agree with the FGO part, but Souls games, I mean, they got very popular because of like how hard those games are, and if you are someone that hates to lose, you love those type of games. But also streamers play those games all the time, and people want to show that, hey, I can actually play this game as well. I think Souls games has a lot of streamer influence onto it, so that's kind of unfair to say right there, in my opinion.
Ring
That
helps with
realization was rough.
That is a very rough realization, and Elden Ring helps with that, and that's all I'm saying. Like, if FGO itself isn't going to evolve, because yes, I get it, spaghetti, string code, super old, whatever other excuse you want to give me, make a new game. Make the
That's basically that's basically saying, you know, Grand Blue Fantasy needs to evolve, or and then if I say that, they're probably gonna say, oh, but look at Relink, look at Versus, they expanded. I mean, FGO has been doing that way before Grand Blue Fantasy. They've expanded to Muso games, they've expanded to rock paper scissors, and you know, fighting. They've had a fighting game on the PS2, so I mean, they have Melty Blood as well. So I mean, again, I find it kind of a little bit unfair to say that, but yeah, FGO has been doing its best to make their game better. They've been adding in a lot of different mechanics to to the game, their own way, of course. I mean, Monster Strike, Puzzles and Dragons, again, Grand Blue Fantasy, they've been doing a bunch of new mechanics in their own way, their own gameplay style. I mean, again, Monster Strike, they always add in these new abilities, these new dungeons with new gimmicks. Puzzles and Dragons, they always add in all these like new characters with new abilities. Same thing. The whole gameplay style is still the same, but they add in new orbs and such. You can also say I think Genshin, they recently added in this new mechanic, right? I don't know exactly what it is, but I know they are throwing in this new update that will change the mechanic a little bit. Grand Blue Fantasy, they always add in new characters, new abilities. Same thing, they add in these new like weapons and such, etc. So all these other mobile games that are older than Genshin and Honkai, they are implementing new mechanics in their own way that they can do it with the current style. So to ask FGO to completely change or just start a brand new game, again, I feel like that's a little bit unfair to say. Again, they just want the name Fate Grand Order to be a 3D game. They don't want another Fate something. That's basically what I'm taking from this.
The FGO too, like Oni said.
FGO too.
Like, even though people say, "Oh, but I put all my money into this game,"
there's that concept too. But again, they just want the name Fate Grand Order to become a 3D game. That's basically what this is.
I have all these servants, and it's like, yes, some cost fallacy. We get it.
I spend more money on this game than I venture most people have, and I'm here asking for FGO too. If I can take that sunk cost, you guys can.
Yeah, because like the money's already gone. Like you already put it in there, and you can't take it out. And it's not very typical for people to be able to transfer their stuff. Now, if they want to give us a cool little gift, like 5-star selector, like, oh yeah, y'all did this, get a 5-star selector in this game. I'm like, sign me up.
Yeah,
like. There's so many ways they could do an easy transition, but even if they didn't do a transition,
they do that in any game though. Literally, like, hey, here, it's a lot of games that give you free 5 stars. A lot of games give you guaranteed 5-star. I mean, there are a lot of games that actually, when they start their new gacha game, hey, guaranteed 5-star on your first roll, right? So, that's kind of. I don't, yeah.
And tried to actually go the upgrade route. I mean, it's not like it's unheard of.
Right.
Have you guys ever heard of a little game called World of Warcraft?
Yeah, yes, I have.
So when did WoW originally come out?
24?
90s?
20, I think 2004.
Early 2000s?
Was. And I kid you not.
I want to know where he's going with this. I don't know where he's going with this.
My actual release date down. November 23rd, 2004.
Whew. And how many times they reboot or remake or?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, I see what they're trying to do.
They add a new system. They do, something different.
They're basically asking for expansions. Is that what this like? But a PC game is completely different from a mobile game. They're like a PC game adds in expansions. That's completely different from gacha games.
They had the whole Cataclysm expansion, just completely gave it a fresh coat of paint, gave it a fresh coat of systems and all that. And I know someone's gonna say Blizzard has infinity money from all the subs, yada yada yada. FGO is a tidy sum of money too.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not about the money. It really isn't about the money. It's just about, hey, if we do this, we have to change completely everything, and that's just gonna take not only money, but that takes up time, and that can hurt a business. Like, it really can. Like, and Blizzard has the manpower to do it. I'm not sure of now, but back in the day, I'm not even sure back then because people are crunching overtime over there. But that's just so much time, and then so much effort to do. I mean, not effort. I'm sorry. That's just so much time and money to be that's going to be wasted. And FGO is doing well how it is now, and I think they're pretty happy with where they're at right now. Of course, I'm sure they want to do better, but again, that's just, they just have to change everything, and I don't think any mobile game wants to do that.
Feel like that they
Quite a
could
bit of
invest in the
money.
gameplay systems.
They literally made more money than Fortnite in 2018 or 19, so no excuses.
Yeah.
What? That's
Wow.
yeah. I still can't believe that was an article. It's like Fortnite dethroned by Japanese turn-based gacha game.
I mean, it's Fortnite is, but they're running on a completely different engine, so that's also something you have to think about.
I'm like,
Dethroned by female King Arthur.
literally,
Oh
freaking Artoria doing the gritty.
But like, but I mean, of course it's gonna get dethroned. I mean, Fortnite only sells skins and like passes, so it's not a gotcha. It's not like you get to pay for a gotcha to get a random skin. You actually can pay for a skin that you're guaranteed. So eventually Fortnite is going to get dethroned by any mobile game. It's going to get dethroned by Genshin. It's going to get dethroned from Monster Strike, etc., etc.
Do we
gotta
still
see,
not have a Fate / Fortnite collab? Come on.
Come on, that'd be
Come on,
another reason to
Fortnite,
play
you
Fortnite.
Again, I don't think Nasu wants to see their characters in a shooting game. Again, they don't like. Nasu is the type of person, in my opinion, that cares about its characters, and they don't want to see these characters do things that they're not meant to do. That, again, that's just my opinion. A lot of people, remember, complained about Goku and Naruto and Street Fighter characters, like, oh, they're not supposed to be shooting guns and sex. I remember those conversations. So and I mean, I'm sure it'd be very weird for Epic Games to be like, hey, do you know Fate? They probably don't. They probably do. They probably don't. I don't know. But I do think it's a weird collab, and I don't know if Nasu would ever do that.
Collab with everyone else.
It's media the franchise. I mean, they've got Fallout and Lethal Company in the same patch right now.
I mean, look, my chat paid me $1,000 overall to play Fortnite. Give me another reason to play. Oh
Good
man.
luck, man. That's the real boomer test. When you
By the way, I play Fortnite. I don't play it on stream, but I actually do play it with my friends. I find Fortnite fun.
play Fortnite, I played it and I was like, what am I doing?
I'm right there with you, Oni. When I tried to shoot a man from across the map and his response was literally building the Arc de Triomphe, I realized this isn't for me.
How can I build and shoot at the same time?
No, I did no build zone. I was like, I can't. You ain't put me in no builder. Put me in no build. I'll go from there. I can't. I'm not playing Minecraft.
That wasn't an option.
Ah, dang. Look, I'll drag you back.
I'll stick with Apex if I want to battle.
No, I'll FGO content creators play Fortnite. Come on, let's do it.
That's the most
Hit me up.
miserable Fortnite team.
Oh, that'd be fun though.
Yeah.
Oh man, but
I mean, I'll get immediately murdered and stare at the screen for several hours until you all get murdered too. That's fine.
hey, look, no, I'm gonna revive you. I'll get you. But yeah, no, I feel like it's time for a change. It can happen. They make enough money to do it, and the story in JP is getting to a point where we're getting to an ending point. It's very clear. That's why they're dragging it out as much as possible.
No, I disagree with that. A change? I don't think so. Again, they can just Type Moon could just make a completely new game that's not titled Fate Grand Order. They can call it Fate whatever. They're not dragging it out. They're trying to make a good story. Nasu is bombarded with not only FGO, he's bombarded with his current projects that he announced 10 years ago, decades ago. Tsukihime was announced way long ago. Finally came out. He's working on Tsukihime 2 right now. He's working most likely on Mahotsukai no Yoru 2. He's working on probably all these Type Moon projects that a lot of people have never heard of, but they've been announced way back whenever they were announced. And yeah, I mean, Nasu's doing a lot of stuff. He's not only writing the story for FGO, he's also looking over stories that other story writers are writing for FGO. So Nasu has a lot on his plate, and that's again one of the reasons why FGO is taking so long. And not only that, again, it takes time to create servants. Like servants, Nasu again, Nasu is the one that has to look over all these characters. Like, oh, okay, does this character work in this style? Does this character work in this story? Takeuchi, same thing. He's in charge of the artwork for FGO, so he looks over. Okay, yeah, you can change this design for this character, etc., etc. And then the Sangyo team, they're hiring more people to do not only FGO but most likely other projects if they're doing any other projects, which I'm pretty sure they have to, right? So, yeah, I mean, Lasango, I think will create more mobile games. It's just the question of like when and what kind of mobile game they're creating right now. I mean, because they can't just do FGO. They're for sure doing other projects. So Lasango will probably release other mobile games. And then again, Type Moon, they'll eventually do other FGO not FGO, they'll do other Fate projects. That's not mobile games. They'll do, again, they have Studio BB. They're doing Fate Extra right now. They have Fate Samurai Remnant. They have Koei working on that, which is great. But I'm sure Takeuchi and Nasu are looking over that as well because they want it's still under the Fate name. So yeah. I think they're just asking for a Fate Grand Order to become something that it shouldn't be. And again, that's my opinion.
It's like,
What if that's why they're dragging it out?
Yeah, that's possible. If there's any good ever a time for a reset,
It's just Nasu just being bombarded with work. That's basically it.
it would be now, or like a new FGO.
right. It's just the moment it ends, and it's like, all right, well, FGO 2 comes out next month or something crazy.
I
FGO2
don't
comes
think
out
FGO 2 is
tonight.
coming out. I
Like,
don't.
what?
That's the last order call. It just says buy FGO 2, and there's a download link.
You
It's
just
like-
you just watch Rika hand off the briefcase to like a Yu-Gi-Oh style protagonist. And
I mean, again, the FGO team, the Sango team, Nissan announced it on stream. Like, hey, they're struggling on getting these stories out because it took Nasu himself literally told Lasango, hey, I need more time. They're trying to do justice to story, so that's the main reason that we know of, at least right now.
it's like FGO2 comes out tomorrow, man.
Oh man.
Damn, that'd be hype.
Honestly, I'd be all about it for real. But honestly, that's just our thoughts on it. I know we can probably go in depth and talk about it forever. We might just start a podcast now. I might just indirectly started a podcast.
Isn't that just what everyone does when they turn 30?
Yes.
I was ahead of the curve. I had a podcast when I was 24.
He's like, already there. But y'all, what do y'all think? Let us know down in the comments. Obviously, we can have civil discussions about this, hopefully. But, it's been great. Hopefully we do more like this. If you want to see more, please comment below.
Okay, that's probably about it. Yeah, that's probably about it. All right, so there you guys have it. Yeah, video got pretty long because, again, that was a 20-minute video, and I did stop in between talking about my opinions. It did sound like I was kind of disagreeing with a lot of things that they said, but again, it's just my opinion, and that's how I think. That's what I believe, and whatever knowledge that I know, I threw it out there. So. Yeah. Again, I'm not trying to start anything with them. I think they're great people, and again, if you guys want to play Fortnite, let me know. Hit me up. I'm a Fortnite fiend right now. I play on my own time, but yeah, that's basically going to be about it. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this. Again, personally, I don't think there needs to be an FGO2. I think FGO is fine how it is. I don't think FGO Fate Grand Order needs to become 3D. Again, that's what I believe they want. Type Moon could just make another Fate game titled something else and make it however they want, whether it's a fighting game, whether it's a turn-based game, whether it's Muso, etc. So yeah, that's basically what I think about the whole FGO cannot keep up situation here. I don't think it's drama. I don't think it's a controversy. I just find it very interesting. That's it. So yeah, that's basically going to be about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Laters.